Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
Our sources explain it all. For more information on upcoming shows or to suggest shows, email brianhayward2026@gmail.com. And now let's get into our show. Hayward Podworks is vision, deep dives into any topic.
So if you're trying to build a business online, you definitely know this feeling. Information overload. It's not just a challenge, it's this constant tidal wave.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day there's a new guru selling the latest tactic, the one secret funnel.
Right, the guaranteed system.
Exactly. You're trying to move forward, but you feel like you're just drowning in noise and, frankly, a lot of confusion.
And that feeling of overload, that's precisely why we wanted to cut through all of that today. The source we're diving into, this really detailed manual on online success, it doesn't focus on those, short-term marketing hacks.
Okay.
It focuses on the essential foundational rules, the mindset, the operational hygiene, and the personal discipline that a lot of veteran marketers just forget to teach.
These are the things I wish I knew before I started, kind of things.
That's it, exactly.
So our mission today is pretty simple. We want to pull out those core universal principles that really drive consistent achievement. We need to internalize two, I think, really crucial facts. First, that opportunity is absolutely everywhere. And second,
the biggest thing stopping you isn't some technical problem.
Right. It's usually internal. It's a flaw in mindset or just how you're operating.
Yeah, and the sources make a very compelling argument that if you get these fundamentals right, the specific marketing tactics, they almost become secondary. So we're here to establish that solid bedrock first.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting with what seems like the most counterintuitive key to online success. It's not technical at all. It's all about who you know.
This is the core thesis. Success online is far less about what you know, your coding skills, your copywriting formulas, and it's overwhelmingly more about who you know, and crucially, how you choose to engage with those people.
And what gives this concept, real weight is that the author anchors it in this surprising piece of scientific reality.
Right. They lean into that whole idea.
The 7 degrees of separation thing.
Yeah, exactly. Or, 6 degrees, 7 people. The point is that every single person in the world, no matter how remote they are, is connected to you. The source gives this incredible example, tracking how a total hermit living alone in the mountains could be connected to an average person in London.
In just 7 jumps.
In just 7 jumps. A friend of a friend of a friend, and so on.
That just makes the whole world feel so much smaller, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, you could be struggling right now to find that next big joint venture, but the contacts that could totally catapult your business, they might be just 1 or 2 conversations away.
To help you visualize this, imagine the room you're in is painted pure white, and you're a small black dot.
Okay.
You use a red pen to draw lines to your friends, then a blue pen for your friends' friends. You do this 3 or 4 times.
And the whole wall is covered.
The whole wall is covered in this vast network of colored dots. Each one is an opportunity, a partner, a resource, a contact. The potential is everywhere.
That's a powerful visualization. But it does sound like it could be a slippery slope, toward just transactional relationships.
Yeah.
How do you stop yourself from just viewing every contact as a money-making machine?
Well, that's where the golden rule comes in. The non-negotiable principle is that making contacts has to be give and take. It has to be mutually beneficial.
So no handouts.
Absolutely not. If you go in just looking for a lead, you burn that bridge immediately. You're looking for a genuine business trade. That reciprocal relationship, that's the real resource that compounds over time.
And the real world example of this is what really sticks with you. The author talks about joining a membership site back in 2000.
Yeah, just casually.
Not even trying to sell anything, just talking, building relationships with a couple of big marketers, some list owners.
And then 3 years later, one of them calls with an introduction. And that chain of connections led to the author launching this hugely successful site.
We're talking 500 sales at over $500 each. All from relationships built years before.
It just shows that those initial connections, even if they feel like, minor time investments, they're a vital resource building. They're the seeds that lead to new ideas, new contacts, new everything, years down the road.
Okay, so moving from that abundance of opportunity to, building a solid place for that opportunity to land. Let's talk about the business foundation.
Right. The fundamental flaw of the online world is that the barrier to entry is just too low.
$50 for a website.
Exactly. Maybe $50 for hosting and a domain. And that ease means a lot of people just forget they are running a real business. They treat it like a hobby.
And you can see that lack of foundation in the final product. We've all seen them. The disorganized sites, the unprofessional copy, the endless pop-ups, or my favorite, the pink, fluffy, floral borders the sources mention.
And that sort of thing instantly eliminates customer trust. When a visitor sees that, they worry. They worry about the product quality, the service, the seriousness of the whole operation. Professionalism is not a nice to have.
It's a necessity.
It is a necessity in every single part of your business.
But before you can even get to the floral borders, the manual says you need clarity. You need a goal-setting shortcut, not some 6-week corporate retreat.
Yeah, the goal setting is boiled down to 3 simple questions, just 3. 1, why are you here? 2, what do you want? And 3, how do you plan to get it?
Those first 2 feel pretty easy. We all know why we want money and what we want to do with it. But that third one, how do you plan to get it? That's where the work starts, isn't it?
Absolutely. The manual states that answering that third question forces commitment. If you don't define the how, you could wake up in 5 years sitting in the exact same chair, having made 0 progress.
Right.
That simple act of defining your route is what pushes you through the tough times. It prevents stagnation.
And to show the kind of rigor this takes, the source material uses itself as an example.
It does. This very report we're analyzing went through 6 drafts. The site itself went through 3 different designs and a total overhaul because it just wasn't good enough at first.
That commitment to quality, that's the foundation.
It is. That's what removes customer doubt. But we do need to address this apparent contradiction here. The need to be professional and inject your personality.
Right, because too professional and you're just a faceless corporation.
But too much personality and you risk looking like an amateur. So how do you strike that balance?
Yeah, what's the trick there?
Personality is how people remember you. You should write and talk as if you're talking to a friend using approachable, genuine language. But you maintain professional structure, professional delivery, and quality. That combination builds trust It builds your personal brand, and it keeps customers loyal. They feel connected to a person, not just a block of text.
Okay, let's move on to segment 3, avoiding the stagnation traps. The number one killer of momentum, especially when you work for yourself, has got to be time wasting.
It's so insidious because people waste so much time while thinking they're being productive. And this isn't just watching cat videos. This is optimizing old web pages that don't need it, messing with email filters, or spending 15 minutes flicking through music tracks to find the perfect background noise.
Right. These are all high-frequency, low-value tasks that just chip away at real productivity.
They do. And the practical antidote is just absolute focus. The source says to cut out all distractions, set a rigorous timetable. The author describes their own deep work setup as just a keyboard, headphones with a set playlist that never changes, a watch, and iced water.
Everything else is gone.
Everything else that could possibly interrupt flow is just gone.
Another huge trap, one that's often ignored, is the avoid the dirty bits trap.
Yes. This is where a marketer skips the tasks that don't fit their preconception of what the job is. For some, that might be cold outreach to a potential partner or setting up complex tracking systems.
So just because they don't enjoy it, they find a way to rationalize skipping it. What's the real consequence of ignoring those dirty bits?
Well, everything you do in marketing is chained to something else. So if you skip the cold outreach, you miss a key partner. If you ignore the tracking, you have no idea which ads are working and which are just burning money. Avoiding uncomfortable tasks creates these huge structural gaps in your entire strategy.
And this feeds right into the broken vase syndrome, which is a fantastic distinction between being reactive versus proactive. Let's really drill down on this one.
Reactive maintenance is cleanup. It's answering the daily flood of emails. It's updating a website because one tiny error popped up, or to use the analogy, it's cleaning up a broken vase.
You finish the day completely exhausted.
Exactly. But you haven't moved forward an inch. You've just gotten back to where you started.
Whereas proactive movement is all forward action. It's creating new products, developing new content, actively contacting new partners. It's the only way to actually gain new territory.
And the source gives this very sobering anecdote about two marketers who started at the same time. The reactive one got stuck constantly tweaking and polishing his original site for 6 or 7 years.
Wow, 7 years on one site.
Just updating tiny bits of code. The proactive one, on the other hand, just kept creating new products, testing new markets, moving on from failures, and is now earning $800 a day.
That is a massive difference in outcome.
All based on behavior. It's the difference between protecting the tiny piece of land you already own versus aggressively going out and settling new land.
Yeah, if you find yourself just constantly maintaining and prettifying the same old product, you've stopped being a pioneer.
And your competition will release 10 new things while you're still stuck on version 1.1.
And one final piece of advice here. The source explicitly says to throw all arbitrary deadlines out the window.
Yes, because they just lead to frustration and anxiety.
Right.
Focus instead on continuous, measured forward movement toward your goal.
That control is everything. If you're consistently taking proactive steps, you can see visible progress every day, and that's a huge psychological boost. And that determination to move forward links perfectly to segment 4, leveraging resources and teamwork. We need to understand why so many marketers refuse to expand beyond just themselves.
The online marketer is often a jack of all trades. We do everything: product planning, design, copy, customer service.
Right.
And the faulty logic is believing you can achieve massive success and keep 100% of the profits by doing it all alone. If you want to get past a couple of $1,000s a month, you absolutely have to leverage other people's resources.
You cannot go it alone if you want massive success. And the JV or affiliate multiplier effect is so powerful because it's not just about splitting profits.
This is where we shift our focus from just singular sales figures to building resources. Yes, you might split profits 50-50, but you immediately gain access to double the visitors, double the affiliates, and critically,
double the resources for future products.
Exactly. You are borrowing the trust and the effort of another market leader. So the true value isn't the split on this one sale. It's the acquisition of a loyal, quality resource for every single future launch.
And these affiliates, JVs, list members, even a small number of high-quality ones, hold what the source calls immense power.
They do. They allow your growth to snowball without having to endlessly pay for expensive ads, which is the failure path for so many solo marketers. They just burn out trying to buy all their traffic.
And a key part of this resource building is embracing mistakes. The sources say, we like mistakes. It's easy to say, but how do you actually encourage necessary failure without, tanking the business?
Well, if you're not making any mistakes, you're only sticking to what's safe, and safe is stagnation.
Right.
So structurally, you embrace mistakes by testing small and failing fast. Every mistake you make, every solution you find, it adds another tool to your arsenal. It makes your next launch that much smoother. You have to be groundbreaking, and pioneering means you're going to navigate unknowns.
Okay, moving on to our final segment, segment 5. And this is the most unexpected, but maybe the most foundational chapter in this whole manual. Your health.
It is a bit surprising, isn't it?
Why is personal health given so much prominence in a strategic marketing guide?
Because a tired, physically strained, or stressed business owner makes poor decisions. A healthy business owner equals a healthy business. Stress kills creativity, and physical pain just slows down your execution speed.
And the advice here is super specific and actionable.
Very. For your hands and wrists, for example, the advice is kind of counterintuitive. Do not wear keyboard or mouse rests while you're typing.
Oh, really? I thought those were supposed to help.
They actually put more pressure on the delicate nerves in your wrists and increase the strain. Instead, you should type with your wrists lifted off the board. If you need support, use light wrist supports after you're done typing for recovery.
Okay, that's a great tip. And what about for vision?
To combat that short-sightedness you get from staring at a monitor, take a 1-minute break every 20 minutes. And during that break, you have to intentionally focus on something far away. Look at a window. It helps realign your eyes.
And of course, posture is critical. Invest in a good chair, get up, and walk around during those breaks.
And here's the health reminder you probably need right now. The source points out that the average office space contains 30 times more bacteria than the average toilet seat.
Oof, that's That's disgusting.
It is. So regular cleaning anti-back spray for your desk, mouse, and keyboard is not just about looking nice. It's operational hygiene. It protects your ability to work.
And finally, there's the psychological disconnection, which is so hard when you work from home and the computer's always right there.
You have to create a separation. If you can, get the computer out of your bedroom, designate a separate office space, and when the day is done, there's a two-step process. First, spend 15 minutes in quiet reflection. Use that time to mentally sort out any nagging problems or plan for the next day.
And
Then you totally disconnect, turn the computer off, walk away. And you can do it knowing you haven't forgotten anything critical because you handled it in your reflection period.
that total disconnection is required to recharge.
Completely. And that structured rest actually feeds back into your creative energy. The source is stress that you have to continually mix with your market. You have to watch other marketers, read their emails. That's how you discover new problems your products can solve.
If you're not engaging with the market, you won't know the current problems.
And you won't have new product ideas. You have to stay immersed.
So, to recap, success is built on mutual contacts and resource building, on total professionalism, on proactive movement, not broken vase maintenance, and on protecting your most vital resource, your own health.
The journey can feel gradual, but rapid forward movement is absolutely achievable if you control your choices, your focus, and your mindset. Failure to progress, it almost always comes from some internal resistance to breaking new ground.
And that leads us to the final provocative thought this manual leaves you with. The entire document argues that you are in complete control. Your success is totally down to you. We learned today that scientifically you can get an introduction to anyone you want through someone you already know.
So considering that universal connection principle, that your biggest obstacle is probably just one conversation away from being solved, what is the real reason you are choosing not to take that next deliberate step forward today? What boundary, what comfortable habit will you intentionally break?
Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
All right, this is Hayward Podworks, and that's today's episode. If this helped you, do me a favor, hit follow, leave a quick rating, and share it with one person who'd get value. Want the extras, links, and new drops? Check the show notes. Until next time, stay sharp, stay consistent, and keep building. Hayward Podworks. We'll talk soon.